Hey everyone, welcome back to the OurSociety Experiment for our weekly progress report. We launched about a week and a half ago, April 30th, 2018, and it's been a whirlwind week and a half since then. A lot of really positive news I'm excited to share with you. So let's start from the top. We launched on April 30th, as I mentioned, officially our live beta with our three candidates on there: Javon Walker, Peter Jacob, and Lindsey Brown. And that's been really positive so far. If you're on our newsletters, you're already aware, but we have over 100 signups so far. Really great for the first 7 days, which is really exciting. You may have seen our advertisements on Facebook. We're doing a lot of advertisements. We're doing what we call A/B testing, so you may see multiple videos, and we're seeing how people react to them to kind of get the word out about the experiment. So I spent a lot of time researching those and developing those. Our Google ads are in full force. Our Instagram ads are in force. So that's been a lot of the last week and a half, is kind of setting that stuff up and getting it ready to get the word out there that, hey, this platform exists and you should join now. One big thing that we also encourage people on our newsletter is, even if you're not in District 6 and 7 where our platform is launched, you should sign up for the platform. Any account that signs up is just a way of saying, hey, I believe in your project. I believe what you guys are doing at OurSociety. I believe that this is a great thing and something that's really well needed, and it shows a lot of support, and it's something that we really appreciate. So if you haven't already, make sure you sign up for an account. That was really critical to the success of the OurSociety experiment. Along with advertising, of course, is shooting our commercials. You guys will see our commercials. They're kind of the same style as these videos. These kind of very raw, just very real, one-on-one style. We're trying to convey the message with the OurSociety experiment that, hey, look, we're just a group of citizens doing this. This is nothing special. We're not some mega corporation. We don't have a ton of funding. We're just out there and we're trying to make a difference and do something valuable and important for the greater good. And we're excited to share that. So the commercials has been a lot of fun, a good learning experience. And we had just shot a new one actually today, so you'll be seeing that shortly. We were really lucky to be featured in an interview for NJ Matters, hosted by Larry Menda, an Emmy Award-winning journalist, to interview us about the OurSociety experiment. I'll be sure to share that video once it comes out, but in the meantime, you can check out NJ Matters. You can Google it or check it out on Facebook and see what they're doing, because they have some really great interviews with some local New Jersey politicians and candidates and people who are getting involved in the community. So it was a real honor to be a part of that. And the whole staff there was incredibly welcoming, so I'm excited to share that interview with you in the near future. Another thing we just did some technical work. We cleaned up our database. We had a lot of test accounts and dead accounts, old accounts from the last year of development. So clean that up to get a really accurate amount of number of people who are signed up for the platform. We're seeing more people trickle in every day, which is really exciting. And I have a special favor to ask you, and this is really important, is can you take the time to share the OurSociety experiment with one friend, just one person, and get them to sign up? We could easily double our user base tomorrow if everyone just recruited one additional friend to the platform. And that would really mean a lot for what we're doing and what we're working for. So if you haven't already, share the OurSociety experiment. Tell people about what we're doing and tell them why they should sign up, even if they're in an area where their candidates aren't on the platform. If nothing else, just give us feedback about what they think about the design and how we can improve it. This past Tuesday, I was fortunate enough to revisit North Brunswick Township High School to conduct 2 more civic engagement seminars. The seminars were awesome. I mean, they were way better than our first time around, and I think we really focused in what we were doing. Essentially, we have a conversation with the students of, why don't people vote? And we write everything down on the board. And then we talk about, well, what would be needed if people were going to vote? What would have to change? And we write those things down on the board. And in both classes, the things that were needed for change were the OurSociety experiment. So it was super cool to do that. We introduced the students to the platform, we get them signed up, they answer some questions, we kind of review the virtual ballot with them to see how it's easier and more convenient than ever before for them to get involved and vote and have some agency in the process. And then we wrap up with discussing the questions, which was a really fun exercise, and we had some really, really good conversations. It's super interesting from my perspective. When you see seniors in high school and you have discussions with them, it's a really interesting phase in life, because at that point, you've pretty much grown up with whatever your parents are telling you your entire life. So some students are reflecting that, and you can kind of tell, and some are really branching out, and they're starting to grapple with that. Is what my parents said true or not? We had some really, again, interesting conversations about some of the questions. So, for example, one question came up was, people with more money should be able to pay for better healthcare, essentially. And the argument, between the students was essentially, yes, you earn that money, right? Then that makes you worthy of better treatment, or no, equal healthcare for all makes more sense. And during the discussion, we talked about people. It got brought up. Oh, people work really hard for their money. And then I asked them, well, does a Wall Street banker, does that person work harder if they earn $13 million a year than, for example, the garbage man? Like, is that a harder job? And just kind of jogging their memories and thinking about things. And I ended both classes, because we were talking about reimagining democracy and our process and this kind of thing. And I ended both classes by telling the students, like, look, don't be trapped in the paradigm of today. Today exists in the now. Tomorrow is different. Tomorrow is the future. So make sure you're thinking about the systems of tomorrow, the world you want to live in. Not the world that is, but the world you want to live in. Because that's how we'll develop policy going forward. And that's, our society is essentially a reflection of that, right? It's in some extent an institutional reformation. It's a reforming the way we think about elections and reforming the way we think about our candidates. And that's something that I'm really excited to share with people as we move forward. We have 2 more classes set up with a different teacher, in the next 2 weeks, I believe. So I'm excited about that as well. We had a chance to meet with the Central NJ Progressives and tell them about the OurSociety Experiment, which receives a very warm welcome, which was very nice. They were a super cool group, and I'm excited to go, hang out with them again in the future and hear what they're doing and see their efforts. And finally, about 2 hours ago, I just finished wrapping up an interview with an accelerator. An accelerator is an organization that takes in, fledgling startups, gives them some initial capital, and guides them to how they can improve their process and their product. So it was a really enlightening experience for me. They gave me some really good feedback. I hope I did them justice by answering the questions to the best of our extent, and I hope I did their time justice. I think I did well. I think it went well, but it's been 2 hours, so of course I'm like overanalyzing everything I said and kind of going in my head and noting the weak points that I felt were weak about the interview and thinking about how I can improve them. But I'm really excited about the prospect of potentially working with them. They seem like individuals who are really doing some really good work for the social good. And to have that type of talent and that type of oversight on our project would be incredible. I mean, we have a vision of how we're going to take it to the next level, but having the insight of individuals who've worked on these type of projects before would really be a huge boon. So cross your fingers for me. Sign up if you haven't signed up, right? So I can show them that we have more accounts and talk about the process. So thanks again, guys, for tuning into our weekly progress report. It's really exciting. It's been a long year to get to this point of the OurSociety launch, but I'm so happy we can share it with you and just have you be a part of it with us. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.